justice has been served for the girls.
The heinous nature of this crime deserve a fully executed sentence.
A form of justice was served, but it does not bring Abby or Libby back.
Tonight, after 2,866 days, Richard Allen is sentenced. The sentence is 130 years behind bars for the murders of two teens, Abby Williams and Libby German. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Anne Marie. Scott is off tonight. The judge handed down that sentence today after hearing from family members and legal teams. We've got our team coverage tonight with our Emily Longnecker. She heard from law enforcement and family members and also the prosecutor on what the decision handed down today means for all of those impacted. She also joins our senior investigative reporter Bob Siegel, who was in the courtroom during the hearing, and they both join us live tonight. Good evening.
Hi, Ann. 130 years. That is the prison sentence that was handed down today to Richard Allen. Emily, that is the maximum sentence that Richard Allen was eligible to get today. And behind us earlier today at the Carroll County Courthouse, Judge Frances Gull, she offered no mercy, telling Richard Allen that's what she felt was appropriate for the gruesome murders of Abby and Libby. Judge Gull told Allen, "You rank right up there with the most hideous crimes she has seen in her 27 years on the bench." And she told Allen, "These families will deal with your carnage forever." Allen was in handcuffs and ankle chains, wearing an orange jumpsuit at today's hearing, and he showed no emotion during the sentencing. Carroll County Prosecutor Nick McLeland asked the judge to impose the maximum sentence possible. He told the judge, Richard Allen is a danger to the community, and he's the worst kind of danger, the kind who can kill two girls and then go on with his life. The victims' families were in court this morning, as they were throughout the trial, and they also asked the judge to impose a very long sentence. 6 of Abby and Libby's relatives, including their grandparents, gave emotional victim impact statements. Abby's grandmother, Diane Erskine, told the court, "I will never be the same person I was before Abigail's murder." And some family members used their impact statements to lash out at Allen. Libby's cousin, Josh Lank, said, "Allen put the victims' families through a living hell for the past 8 years." And looking right at Allen, he said, "Now it's time for your life to be a living hell." And Libby's grandmother, Becky Patty, said, "I live every day with the burden of having allowed Abby and Libby to go to the trails that day, and I take responsibility for that. What about you, Richard Allen? Will you ever take responsibility for your actions that day?" She told Allen she hopes he lives the rest of his life in prison with the same sense of fear he instilled in his victims. Richard Allen told the judge he did not want to make any statements. We heard very little from his defense team as well, except for a short statement after court from one of his attorneys.
What they went through is unimaginable. We're looking forward to the next steps in our appeals. Other than that, we have nothing to say.
So, next step is the appeal. The judge told Richard Allen he has 30 days to file that appeal. We know that he does plan to do that, even though in court today, the victims' families appealed directly to Richard Allen not to appeal and not to drag this case out further, basically saying that they would like the girls at this point to be able to rest in peace. Tonight, we know Richard Allen is back in the custody of the Indiana Department of Corrections as he begins serving this 130-year prison sentence. And Emily, as the sentence today came down, the gag order that has been in this case was lifted, and now we are hearing for the first time from people we have not heard from in this case in a long time.
Yeah, almost 2 years really since that gag order went into place, and they expressed some of their emotions today, Bob, at a news conference following this sentencing. You know, these murders changed the fabric of this community, and Carroll County Sheriff Tony Liggett talked about that today, saying that this used to be the kind of place where people slept with their doors open, and he hoped that this conviction and sentence restored some of that security here to the folks in Carroll County, but he also said there would never really be any closure.
I keep hearing the word closure. People are coming up to me saying, "I bet that you're glad that there's finally closure." There will never be any closure in this case. The Germans and the Williams family lost their daughters, their granddaughters, their siblings. Justice, a form of justice was served, but it does not bring Abby or Libby back. These families will live every day without two of the most important people in their lives. They're missing milestones because of a low-life coward decided to take their innocent lives. They did not deserve this. Today is not closure. It is just turning the page and starting a new chapter.
And while the focus mostly stayed on Abby and Libby, prosecutor Nick McClellan also talked about what he described as a lack of remorse and regret in Richard Allen in court. McClellan said that during the trial, Richard Allen showed a lack of emotion when crime scene photos were shown. Allen's attorneys have indicated they plan to appeal his conviction. McClellan had this suggestion.
If he truly wants to apologize to the families and admit to what he's done, now's the time to do that.
And another key moment today came when Carroll County Sheriff Tony Liggett also apologized to the family, saying that he was sorry that it took almost 8 years to get to this point. He also referenced something that Becky Patty, a quote, a goal that she had always said, a quote that he said that he hung on his computer and his refrigerator that he often looked at. And he said that her goal, the quote that she said about her goal, that there was always the goal that there would be zero doubt that justice had been served. And today is that day. So that is a quote that Tony Liggett looked at over and over again. And again, folks saying, today is the day for that justice.
So at this point, the investigation is over, the trial is over, sentencing is over. But as we heard today, some consider a day of closure, others do not. It could be the turning of a page, with the next page or the next chapter being the appeal. And we will see where that goes. For now, Ann, we'll send it back to you. We're live here in Delphi.
Bob and Emily, thank you so much reporting from Carroll County for us tonight at 6 o'clock. And we're breaking down all the developments from today's sentencing on our streaming service, WTHR+. You can catch our Delphi debrief in about an hour. We're going to start that live at 7 o'clock. It's available to stream on demand. Just download our free streaming app. You can get that on Fire Stick, Roku, and Apple TV.